Islam Morris, love, truth, and light all day. Let's start this off by bringing up Occam's razor. Do you know who William of Occam was? Well, William Occam was one of the noble sons of antiquity, and what he proposed and the principle that he left is called Occam's razor. Occam's razor is based off of getting into a complex problem, mainly spiritually, because that's what the complexity is about, because it's a spiritual problem or a spiritual misunderstanding, and then using the simplest way to get to the understanding of this. Simple. So the most basic way to get to divine understandings is Occam's razor. Back to the basics, Morris. So as we are in this new awakening, because I don't know if you felt it, but we're in a new paradigm again. So at this time, Morris, it's very important that we really understand what it is to be a Moor, understand what it's not to be a Moor. So the do's and don'ts of Moorism. And one of the things that Moors don't do, that we have been doing, myself included, we deal in the wrong form of currency. We deal in fiat and paper exchange and legal tender and internal revenue script. we use that as our legal tender. We agree. We have acquiesced. But the reality is that we really have to? Has there been a principle that hasn't been expounded upon? Well, let's think about it. Let's take it back to the Prophet. The Prophet said to enforce the Constitution. The Constitution says that money is gold and silver. The Prophet then says, you Moors are just plain rich. The Prophet said, when the Europeans leave you Moors, mountains of gold will be revealed. Do you understand that this can't be put in words? But you don't gotta really wait for the European to be ejected out of here to find your gold and silver. Why don't we buy gold and silver? Invest in gold and silver for our own well-being. Because us as Moors, we know that we don't deal in anything else. So why have we been? What is the reason for our acquiescence? But I think right now is the perfect time to change that. A basic understanding, a basic principle, a basic little small shift to change a crap load and years load of misconception and misunderstanding. So that basic code, while these Europeans come up with their digital world order, because that's what's coming. When they come up with their digital currency and give these people digital wallets instead of the real thing, then it's going to go to show you that time is up. But us as Moors, we shouldn't wait for all of these things to transpire. What fiat do you have right now? I'm gonna take y'all back to another thing the Prophet said, because we are right in the times of that same. This is 1930. We are right in 1930 right now. In 1930, there was a collapse that wasn't spoken about, but then there was 3 years for Moors to get themselves together for the coming collapse. We are in that right now. So, profit, man, it's just insane. But if we have an opportunity to put ourselves in line for the coming calamity. When it comes for the so-called industry to be in the hands of the Moors, why not have it in our hands when we're situated with what's in our hands? Why not merchandise? Why not become merchants again? Simply off of obtaining our allodial pieces. Weights and measures. Can't do checks and balances. Weights and measures. We understand the chemical relation, the alchemical relation to these pieces. Gold and silver is nothing but the sun and the mother. So gold would be the sun, silver the mother being the moon. But understand how silver is killing gold right now, and it's going to kill gold, and it's going to be the leading currency in the coming future soon. So understand that a collapse took place in the 1933. Right now we're living in a time right before one happens where we could actually see the signs. Oh yeah, remember when the prophet said, I need finances, I need it badly? Never before have I needed the finances to push aside or shove aside the discord. It all comes because these people are jealous. Do you see it? Look at the temperature of the Europeans. They running around shook, especially when they get to the political stage. That the curtains have been drawn back too early. They were still in the middle of dress rehearsal. They are running around. Trump is a wild card, hence the word Trump. Trump card, the Trump deck, he's a wild card because he doesn't have any ties to anything that they know about. Trump is not a KKK member. Trump is not a member of the Bilderberg groups. Trump is not a member of the political bank owners. Trump is not a part of the Vatican's pocket. Trump is not a part of the Crown's pocket. If you remember when he went to visit the so-called queen, that lady, right? She didn't want to shake his hand. Pissed at the bull, like treating him like a peasant. Trump remembers. He remembers that, and that lady had to get out of her. She had to clear house right now. Courtesy. She's cleared house. Courtesy. Manner. She has cleared the manor so they can wash it back clean. I wonder who's going to go back up in there to get it. I wonder who's going to use the birthright claim of their blood to get it. I wonder who's going to use the fiat that they have, burn it, and then take their real allodial electrical conducting pieces and bind that place up. Yeah, they get quiet during epidemic scares. Go outside in the morning. Y'all Moors need to do this. Go outside 6 o'clock in the morning and take yourself a walk so you can get that corona blessing. Corona means crown. Okay, understand the crown. Corona also means flower. Corona also means Corona borealis. I think it was that one. It's either borealis or just look up the etymology of Corona, and they have a couple different breakdowns of what Corona is, so you can see that it's also cosmic, celestial. So when you deal with look up the etymology of Corona, and Corona actually means, you know, when a solar eclipse happens, and at the minute of the full eclipse, you can see a ring, a fire ring on the outside of the eclipse. The sun glaring through the eclipse as a ring, the Lord of the Ring. That ring is Corona. That's our crown, Moors. That when that happens, that's called Tesla polka. That's called the Jaguar's paw. When that crown comes out, that's called the Jaguar's paw, Moors. So why do we got ancient cosmogonies and ancient rituals and you know, of our ancestors, the Mayans. It goes back to that. This coronavirus, I got a video I'm gonna put out. Yeah, I'm gonna probably drop a couple videos today because it's just crazy. But it's a video today that I got strictly dealing on melanin being radium, or melanin's characteristics and relations to radium and Moors. In that joint, it goes down. It goes down. What? Did you know that the luminescent part of radium, the part that makes it glow, the radio, what do they call it? The radioluminescent, or, you know, this part, it is backed by something called the urania. Radium and urania. This is funny because remember Aphrodite Urania? Aphrodite Urania, right? She is actually a lot, right? Understanding all of this is cosmic as hell. You think that your mothers are just these little toys, these little, what do you call them? Figurettes, statues, idols. The idol fish is a Moorish fish, but those are not idols. Your mother's energy, yeah, represented in this figure, but understand that the mother's energy is another beast. It's another beast. It's another beast, bro. She transmutes all of this stuff through her. You know, the energy of the womb, you guys will be more inclined and aligned to it. This is power, divine, metaphysical, like geometric, sacred geometric, tetragrammaton type of information when it comes to the mother. They birthed the stars, Moors. And if y'all looked at, that was crazy. Noble Drew Ali on the back of the apron, or on the back of the handkerchief in front of the Masonic temple in Philly. Did you see that? Everything was green, like the copper is becoming green. So I'm looking at the metal as a form of reverse alchemy for us to see with our eyes as reverse engineering. Because through the eyes, you can generate this energy out. I'm gonna show y'all something in a sec. I got a book. I'm gonna show y'all. But you can emanate this energy through your eyes, empower devices and receivers of radiation. Anything with carbon can receive it. Now that's the point of carbon. It's the receiver of the mother. Carbon is 6, so carbon represents the masculine principle of the mother's energy on Earth. You know how everything's based in matter? Mother, everything's based in carbon. Carbon-based. But what's the foundation or the energy within the base? Because you think about it, Moors. Think about it. We haven't been thinking. When you deal with alchemy, you have to start with the base metal. So if base metal is the part you start at and is black, it can't mean anything but a beginning. The base, like, you know, first base, like that type of thing. You know, the base component of an alchemical experiment will be charcoal, coal, or a piece of coal. That black, like black soot from stone, seabeds, what they call kemet back in the day. That black soot that's actually dirt. To take that, transmute that dirt or that coal into gold, charging its energy. Then when it gets to the point where it's glowing with the fire, introducing it with certain compounds and chemicals that holds the glow. So when it cools off, it still maintains the glow. That is crazy. So if we know how to do that on the outside with materials, understand how it works on the inside of the body. So with that being said, the body has to be the base component of coal. Santa Claus being naughty and nice. If you're naughty, he give you a piece of coal. If you're good, he give you a gift. Naughty not in a sense of, well, I guess you could say, yeah, evil, but we can't think in a Christian sense. Naughty meaning you haven't been aligned to the principles of cosmos. You've been out to lunch. You've been doing whatever you want to do. You don't follow the cosmic principles. So you're naughty. You're deviating, you're deviling away from the ways that give you divine life. So you don't want life. You want the appearance of death. You want a colored death. That's what you want. You want colored death. Because it's appearing like you dies, right? It appears like the person dies. But in reality, the person has went to Diana, aka the person has went from the darkness and brought the darkness into the light. So what was dark, the sleeping God inside, that talked to him the whole time, that became light and ejected and went to, well, you don't go anywhere. You just, become part of the dimensions inside of this dimension. Dimensions within dimensions that are invisible and unseen and been here forever, longer than this physical containment has been created. We come from that mental projection of the holographic universe. Green holographic is dealing with the Green Lantern. Understand that Green Lantern is the lantern of light from when the melanin activates. Serpent head spitting out, they said black substance. No, the substance is dark green. So Morris, understand that our body is the piece of coal from the alchemy of introducing it with certain special chemicals, divinely prepared substances, and tonics. We can transmute the outside to gold. What do you think that yellow hair is about now? When our ancestors got the yellow hair, is that really a falling away of sorts? Or is that reaching a divine sense of the follicle? Is Australia part of America? Americana Pana. Is Australia part? Is Greenland part? Is Portugal, Spain? Andalusia. Are those regions, like everything west of the Pyrenees Mountains, is that considered America? Is West Africa considered America? Is Hong Kong in Far East Asia considered America? Malaysia, Polynesia, where the Malay people was at? We went to fight a war and went to fight who? Vietnam. Laos. There's Malayan Moors there. The Malaysians. Vietnamese, Cambodians. Those are all Moors from the West Coast. The West Coast of the East Side. Understand that. They moved over, got cool with the other what do you call them? The other Hindustanis. They called them people the Mongols. They were here before Europeans knew that they was over there, building up houses and structures that weren't that professional until the ones from up north came down and met with them, and then they built up what you see as Machu Picchu. They became the Incans together. That's why it's a family line that extends from Kublai Khan or Kublai and Genghis Khan all the way into Manco Capac and them. That's a bloodline. And then understand that when you look up the Inca Kings list and scroll all the way down, the only one with a cross and a crown on is Charles V. And the way his brother's looking at him like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you going the wrong way? Because he got gifted while he was over there in the East Coast. He got gifted. They gave him some stuff, right? He thought he was better. A crown with a cross. What do you don't even know the devices? Don't you know that device is locking your mother's spine down? We don't know nothing no more about amulets and devices and sorcery. How just a piece of outside metal can affect the inside of you. We'll wear crystals, but we don't know what that can do. How come we so aware of what might can help us, but we don't want to pay attention of what definitely will hurt us? Occam's razor. Occam's razor. It's misunderstood. You need to use the basics to handle the complex. So let's deal with this. Since we're dealing with basics and complexes, complex is also a building, right? Can't have a Moor that doesn't have books. That ain't real. You see a Moor that teaches and he'll never like bring out books or talk about books or take notes on paperwork or nothing, he's lying. That's not a Moor. It's the notes. So let's look right here. Treaty of Peace and Friendship in Arabic. Al-Asamu wal Sarako tu Muwahada. Al-Salamu wal Sarakatu Muwahada. Al-Salamu wal Sarakatu Muwahada. Right? And then if you see the Arabic writing of that. So Moors, this is what we need to start practicing and doing. Getting aware of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship from 1836 in Arabic. So you could write it to people who speak Arabic and they understand what you're talking about. Al-Salamu wa Sarakatu. Sadaqah is when you give somebody gifts. It's a giving. It's like sort of like zakat. Sadaqah is when you give. It's like friendship. It's literally friendship. So Al-Salamu is the peace. And then salam is peace. But when you put the mu on, you like add different forms of you to like translate. So like when you say all right, when you say Rahman and Rasul to Allah, right? You would say Rahmania, right? The ear to conjoin the words together. So Rahman ear, Al-Rahman ear, Ar-Rahim, right? Ir-Rahim. It's not just Ar-Rahman Al-Rahim. No, Ar-Rahman Rahim. You can't. That's not it. Rahman Rahim. That ain't even. That you can't say that in that language. That's like saying. All right. That's like instead of saying friendship, saying companion boat. It don't work like that. Or like taking a letter out and trying to make it the same word. Like friendship. Let's see that. Friendship without the ND. So free ship. Free ship. No. We're trying to bring in another party or another family or another nation. So it has to be, you know what I mean. So, but no, that's a little bit of Arabic for you. Like adding on the connecting, I don't know what they would call those because it's not consonants, but the connecting like abbreviations to make words whole. Yeah. So like Rahman and Rahim, you can't just say Rahman Rahim, right? That's not a word. Rahman Rahim can't be said. So Rahman Rahim. So when you got this, you got As-Salamu.
Okay.
Wa Sadaqatu.
I will.
As-Salam, Sadaqah. So it'll be As-Salamu wa Sadaqatu Muwahada. Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Right? And this is only for business Moors, because like if you're gonna be this, you can't be this and then some Arab comes up to you and then you don't know how to speak to him. Well, then that means you're frauding with your Moorish identity. How a Moor don't know how to speak Arabic or every language, when we get to that. So, what is this? Sacred places of goddesses, 108 destinations. You see the subjugation at the bottom. So, but to realign some misunderstanding, I gotta read this part to y'all because I don't think people know this. I don't think they get it. They will get it because we ain't gonna stop until they get it. Hold y'all down and make y'all worship the mother. But the Grand Mosque in Mecca It might come as a let's look at this while I read, right? So it might come as a surprise, but Al-Uzza, the mighty one, the tutelary goddess of the Kaaba stone alongside Habal, in her holy city of pre-Islamic Mecca. Al-Uzza was the most prominent deity of Mecca during Muhammad's time, followed by Alat and then Manat. These goddesses were at the crux of the controversy surrounding the satanic verses. Both the title of a novel written by Salman Rushdie and the sacred verses with the Quran considered the direct word of God. Today in Islamic Saudi Arabia, when Muslims make their prescribed pilgrimage to Mecca in honor of Allah during the Hajj, that's coming, right? They circumambulate 7 times about the Kaaba stone in a ritual called Tawaf, repeating the very same ritual practiced by their ancestors. Rufus Camphausen cites historical evidence that 7 priestesses of Al-Uzza and her worshippers circumambulated the black stone of the Kaaba 7 times in veneration of the goddess and the 7 ancient planets. I gotta read that again. Because you see the 777? Rufus Camphausen cites historical evidence that 7 priestesses of Al-Uzza and her worshippers circumambulated the black stone of the Kaaba 7 times in veneration of the goddesses of the 7 ancient planets. That's called cosmic connection. That's called talking to Tahuti's mother. Okay, so understand that the ritual as done today is not right. So you're never going to get no divine blessings where the world doesn't have violence in it. It's women still getting raped during Ramadan. What are y'all talking about? Y'all not observing it. Y'all just doing it. Observe Ramadan means to appear, like look at it, watch it. What are you going to do? What are you going to move around and act around for? You're supposed to be watching something. They go to a building over there in Saudi Arabia, right? Modern Saudi Arabia. They circumambulate physical property without the mother being involved. Why not just look in the sky at the stars, the sun and the moon and the stars, so you can understand what time it is? That's what they were doing back in the day. Look up there, understand the time, and back in the day they was dealing with calamities. It ain't rain, it's about to be a drought. We have to make it rain. Circumambulate the goddamn Kaaba. Well, so why are you circumambulating it now? Some ritual following a man, literally. Oh, we do it because Muhammad said so. What? Well, this book is talking about what happened before Muhammad was even known. Before the boy was born, they was worshiping Al-Uzza. So what gave him the right? I do it like this. What empirical, matriarchal, or patriarchal government or federal lord system taught that man to invade the Kaaba and take all the damn deities out of there and make it all man? Sounds like some Vatican stuff to me, because that's what they did with everywhere else. They did that in so-called the Amazonians. They did that to Pythian temples. They did that over here. When Hernan Cortez came, remember they hid Mother Khalifa? You never heard about her after that. They put her in a book and then it was like, oh, she don't exist. She's Starbucks. So, understanding it can't work. It needs to be women circumventing that thing. And then observing is just saying Ra, Sun, Ma, Moon, Dan, the stars, cosmos. So just observing the time of the day at that time so you can know when to plant your damn, vegetables so you don't starve. Al-Uzza is thought to originate from the region of Mount Sinai. So here we go with the so-called Moses stuff. And brought to Mecca by the Quraysh, Muhammad's tribe. See, now how come that boy said he was an orphan? If everybody else knows his family, the Quraysh, the Quran from the Quraysh, the Quraysh, that's how you say their name, the Quraysh. So the Quran is it's like their way. Quran is like their way to recite like them, to follow them, to be like them, the Quraysh. So Muhammad took their name, took that and made the Quran with things that weren't inside the original version. Well, Muhammad's tribe, keepers of the Kaaba, who venerated both her and Allah, meaning both Al-Uzza and Manat. Al-Uzza was often represented as a stone larger than the god Dushara, which she was seen as threefold, representing not just herself but Alat and Manat. So you remember just the triple feminine deity. That's the picture of the people circling the Kaaba right there. So Alat, Manat. Scholar Alfred Guillaume cites sources such as the Christian writer Nilus to demonstrate that the evidence of her worship was prevalent as late as 4th century CE. Tradition states that in his youth, Muhammad sacrificed a white sheep to her. The Arabs offered human sacrifices to Allah, and furthermore, the blood of the victim was smeared or poured on them while the tribe danced around the stone. So symbolically representing the blue elixir. They don't want to do none of that now. Now that's idolism. That's idol worship. It's funny. The devotees licked the blood or dipped their hands in it, and thus reciprocal bond held them to one another and the deity to whom the stone belonged. Ibn Ishaq states that Al-Uzza had a slaughter place, and the scholar Andre named that place as Mount Hira, where Muhammad worshipped Allah and Al-Uzza. Got confused a little bit up there, huh? This was before Muhammad later began to preach his message, which controversially omitted goddesses, dispelled paganism, and according to Camphausen, focused on a law and a male domination over nature and women. Muhammad preached his creed to his tribe for 12 years, and then eventually eventually cast him out. But he returned with an army to destroy the false idols. Literally went to Mecca, came back to Medina where he was from, and wreaked havoc. They got movies all about that. The Meccan who opposed Muhammad carried out Uzza's banner into battle against the prophet, right? Muhammad ultimately won victory and had all Al-Uzza's temples destroyed. Muhammad died 632 CE, 2 years after he rededicated the Kaaba sanctuary as a purely Islamic pilgrimage site. Pilgrimage to Mecca for the Muslim faithful emphasizes the idea of unity of faith despite differences of culture and race. But the mother can't be? Camphausen elaborates the Kaaba, stating that it's a place of power where men and women worship the goddesses in the form of her yoni. Now you know what the blood was about? The black meteorite stone, 7 or 12 inches in diameter, reports vary on size, is inlaid on the southeast corner of the Kaaba. Not far away from the Kaaba stone is the Zamzam well for its life-giving waters. Some believe that the well attracted Abraham and Sarah, who had for years been unable to conceive a child, and by fertile waters represented of these mother goddesses, powers in fecundity, did Abraham lay with Hagar to conceive a son. So see the subjugation right there. His wife was Sarah, but in the book he laid with his bondswoman to produce the son that they couldn't stay in the temple. He had to get taken out and driven to Egypt, just like Jesus, just like everybody else. Moses, everybody went to Egypt. So it's just funny how he had to drink from the well to even produce a child, but then after he had the baby, he kicked the child out and the mother to the well, out of the house and everything, because his God said, "Oh yeah, you had a baby with her, but no, now I'm gonna let you have a baby with your wife." He like, "God, why don't you let me do that before?" "Oh, the prophecy must be completed, but kick her out." Gotta read the Bible, it's in there. So some believes that allow life-giving words to the mothers and fecundity the living son. Some say that the stone at Mecca is of that of Al-Uzza, others a lot, though it has been shown that together the two goddesses are often conjoined. According to Iqbal Ali Shah, the Kaaba stone radiated a greenish hue in the early times when it was worshipped as goddess, and only later did turn black from those gazing upon it with their imperfections. Yeah, okay, we can get out of there. So these people know about a history of a Kaaba that glowed green, had a greenish hue and radiated, and it used to be dedicated to the mothers, Al-Uzza, Alat Manat, who were conjoined and interchangeably dedicated and worshiped before Muhammad destroyed them and changed verses. But yeah, that was all more to come, different videos. But love, truth, peace, freedom. Oh wait. All right, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and study. Go study Islam.